Hello again, welcome to the first video of many over the next year or so. We are going to be moving out of Woodhouse, our wood cabin, and moving deeper into our farmland to set up our final long-awaited and massively planned outpost. But there is one problem, and that is the road, the old wagon trail. It's very rocky, very overgrown, and it needs a lot of work before we can even try to move materials or tools to the new site. So I'll show you the road now and then show you the location. Now this is a good example, a very good example of the type of terrain that we need to deal with. And what we have here is the same type of nabank, this layery rock that we have here. It is soft, it cannot be excavated. If you do excavate this, it eventually washes out and causes more erosion. But the stepping pattern that we have here is the first problem, because this is not suitable for a vehicle to travel over once or twice a day or even a few times a week. Now this stuff is also quite slippery, that when it is wet it slides to the side, and I don't know if the camera will show the angle, but there's quite a steep angle here. So the only thing that I think we can do is to do minor work and to take out the roughest edges. But on the steps itself, on these steps, the best thing would be to use concrete and to fill in concrete on the steps. At least the whole section of road is not like this. There are 3 or 4 sections that we need to deal with. Some of them have higher stepping and some are lower. But what we need to be sure is that we don't have too much of a sliding angle here, because the deep gorge and river is behind me and it's about 30 meters deep. You don't want to slide sideways here. It just needs to be safe for vehicles to travel on when it rains, but also to travel over at a fair speed. This piece of road here exists because it was a wagon trail 100 or more years ago, and you can see that it has taken quite a beating over time because of the way the wagon wheels just cut away the rocks all the time. And it is not a hard rock. I can take pieces of it out like this. Almost anywhere you can slide pieces out and it just comes out. The 10th frontier. The Patreon guys can look at the lore map that we have, and that'll show you the frontiers that we are breaking through. I can see it on the LCD there, so I think you'll see it. A little bit of a trail, and then it turns in a way towards the gorge and it goes through this section here. Unfortunately, we do not need to do any earthworks on this section. This little stream which runs from these hills, it already crosses at bedrock level there, so there will be no earthworks necessary, but we'll have to clear out these acacia trees to make way for vehicles. The one wagon track is gone, it's under this tree, and the other one is this one that's been kept alive by us doing scouting missions here as well as wildlife. This is the last section before we get to our destination. And here we are. Sunsets, sunrises, when it rains, the views are fantastic. Solar power will not be a problem. The sun rises in the east over there. In winter it rises more to that side. Then the north over there is obscured because we get a cold northwestern wind in winter, so it's obscured by this mountain hillside here. And then in the afternoon the sun sets in the west over there. Again, in winter it sets a little bit more north, so we get a little bit later sun in the winter, which is ideal. The area itself is flat. It looks like hard rock, but it's not. It's that layery stuff that, you know, look at this, I can break it out with my fingers. quite good to take out just enough rubble trench foundation for the earth bag building. This northern part here is slightly downhill by a meter or so. This makes it great for our livestock, for the goats. We don't want their effluent and runoff to come towards the house, but they'll have designated areas here, and then they will be able to free roam into the gorge. The areas on that side against that hill, we are going to preserve this and boost the biodiversity all the way on the property towards that side, over this hill and up to that next hill over there. And we want to increase the resilience of the property with the climate as it changes. To improve it, we have to take that responsibility. And then on this side of the property, we can use the hillsides here to get gravitational energy for our water by storing it higher. And as you know, the road would be coming up there, so we don't need to destroy anything else or level anything else. We could bring it onto this surface as it is already. Vehicles can move here and everything will just fit into place the way it is without much modification. This is an area of abundance. It's got plenty solar power abilities, it's got plenty gravitational energy storage abilities. There's a lot of permaculture edge happening here, where you have different zones between here and the dry sides of the hills, the south sides of the hills which are greener, the stream, the eroded areas, the hilly rocky areas where there's only rhino bush, and then when you turn around here you enter a zone of trees and higher taibos. So it's an incredibly fantastic area to live in, but it's also going to be a great area to start regeneration with and improve the landscape and make things better, make sure that there's abundance for everyone and everything here. We're not going to be mining it, we're going to be building it. One thing that we need to do is to set up new trails where we move and where we walk, because you can't just walk into new places and step on everything every time. You need a specified marked trail that you can move on to get from one point to the next. Gives everything on the edges room to expand and grow, be undisturbed, and it gives the wildlife a reliability factor, confidence that they get into the habit that the humans always walk in one place and they can be over there without being disturbed. When you turn off the lights at night and it goes dark the way it should be, quiet, they move into your area. They'll eat those plants and those carrots. So you do need to keep that in mind and manage it. And I'm walking back here between these two bushes. This is my mental mark where the road will be, and you can see the bike down there, and you can see our previous building set up there. Of course, going to be moving most of that this way, rehabilitating some of that, and then handing over the responsibilities to a land steward, if that's what you want to call it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the likes and views and support through the year. We wish you a Merry Christmas, safe New Year, and we'll see you again in 2024.